You don't have to wait until 40 to feel regret. But most people do when it's already too late. When time has passed. When poor financial decisions have become routine. When today's comfort becomes tomorrow's cage. Here's the truth: no one teaches you how to build wealth. The system only shows you how to survive, while profiting off every mistake you repeat without noticing. Today, I'm going to show you 7 financial decisions that seem harmless in your 20s or 30s, but come back to bite you in your 40s. These aren't reckless choices, they're common, normal, socially accepted. And that's the problem. They quietly drain your time, your energy, and your future. As Morgan Housel says, you don't need to do amazing things to get rich. You just need to avoid the big mistakes. This video is about those mistakes, the ones that keep you stuck, even when you're doing everything right. So pay close attention. You might still have time to change course. You might still be able to do things differently. But only if you're willing to face the truth and act. Because the market doesn't reward perfection. It rewards participation. And every second you delay costs more than you think. 1. Waiting too long to invest. The biggest financial mistake people make in their 20s or 30s isn't overspending, it's waiting too long to start investing. Holding off until you earn more or feel stable sounds reasonable, but that mindset quietly kills your shot at building wealth with peace of mind. Compound interest needs one thing above all: time. And every year you delay is a year you'll never get back. As billionaire Charlie Munger put it, the first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. Let's run the numbers. If you invest $300 a month starting at age 25, earning an average return of 8% per year, you'll have about $750,000 by 65. But if you wait until 35 and invest double, $600 a month, you'll end up with only $670,000. In other words, investing less, for longer, beats investing more for less time. That's the invisible math most people ignore until they regret it. Time doesn't come back. And the market doesn't wait. There's no such thing as the perfect moment. There's only starting with what you have, right now. Perfection paralyzes. Participation compounds. As economist Benjamin Graham once wrote, the investor's chief problem, and even his worst enemy, is likely to be himself. Waiting for the stars to align is just self-sabotage wearing a mask of caution. Meanwhile, the market rewards those who simply get in and stay in. The only question is, how much longer will you wait? 2. Buying more house than you can afford. Owning a home is seen as a trophy, the pinnacle of adult success. But in chasing that dream, many people sign their own financial sentence. Giant homes, oversized mortgages, monthly payments that swallow half their income. And suddenly, you own your house, but your house owns you. As Ramit Sethi, author of I Will Teach You to Be Rich, puts it, your house isn't just a home, it can be your biggest money trap. Beautiful on the outside, suffocating on the inside. In the US, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, families spend an average of 35% to 45% of their income just on housing. That leaves less money for investing, traveling, starting a business, or handling emergencies. It's called being house poor. You look wealthy, but live paycheck to paycheck. And all of it fueled by social pressure, the American dream, Instagram photos, nosy neighbors, family expectations. The house becomes a symbol. And your freedom disappears right alongside your savings. Buying a home isn't the issue. The issue is buying for status, not strategy. A modest home that gives you breathing room beats a mansion that forces you to live for the mortgage. The real question isn't, how much can I borrow? It's, how much will I have left to live, invest, and grow once the mortgage is paid? That answer determines whether your home will be a blessing or a golden cage. 3. Relying on a single source of income. For years, having a full-time job meant stability. But times have changed, and today, relying on just one source of income is one of the biggest financial risks you can take. As Robert Kiyosaki warns, the moment you have one source of income, you are one decision away from bankruptcy. The pandemic proved this brutally. Millions lost their jobs, and with it, 100% of their income. Security, without diversification, is just an illusion. In 2020, according to the U.S. Department of Labor, over 30 million Americans became unemployed in just a few months. Entire companies collapsed. Entire industries vanished. And anyone relying solely on a paycheck was left exposed. This is the danger of putting your financial life in the hands of one boss, one company, or one economy you don't control. That's not stability. It's dependency dressed up as routine. The solution? Build multiple income streams. Start with side gigs, freelancing, online sales, dividends, or renting out assets. Passive income has never been more accessible through platforms like Etsy, Amazon KDP, RIT investments, or even YouTube. The new rule of the game is simple: if you only have one paycheck, you're not secure, you're vulnerable. The sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start building true freedom. For not understanding taxes. Earning money is one thing. Keeping money is something else entirely. And the difference lies in taxes. Most people work their whole lives and never learn how the tax system works, and that ignorance costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. As Tom Wheelwright, Robert Kiyosaki's personal CPA, puts it, if you want to be wealthy, you need to learn how to make the tax law work for you, not against you. Ignoring this is like trying to fill a bucket with holes. A classic mistake? Withdrawing from a 401k before age 59 and a half. That triggers a 10% penalty on top of regular taxes, a move that's cost Americans billions, according to the IRS. Another common oversight is failing to take advantage of tax-advantaged accounts like Roth IRAs, HSAs, or deductions for medical, educational, or business expenses. You might be overpaying in taxes simply because you didn't know a better way existed. And that's not just waste, it's self-sabotage. Tax strategy is one of the most powerful ways to earn without working more. Using the rules to your advantage legally is pure financial intelligence. Billionaires like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have been slammed for paying less tax percentage-wise than regular workers. But it's not illegal. It's planning. The lesson is clear: you can keep complaining about taxes, or you can learn to play by the rules that are already written. And those who understand the game win with far less effort. 5. Avoiding scary investments. Fear paralyzes. And when it comes to money, most people would rather lose safely than win with risk. The result? Thousands of Americans keep their savings parked in checking accounts, savings accounts, or CDs that barely keep up with inflation. As Warren Buffett once said, the biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world where the cost of living rises every year, comfort might be the most expensive investment you'll ever make. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, inflation over the past 20 years has exceeded 60%. That means if you stashed $10,000 in an account earning just 1% annually, you lost purchasing power even if the balance grew on paper. Meanwhile, those who took calculated risks in stocks, index funds, real estate, or even crypto saw their capital grow despite market volatility. The difference isn't luck, it's the courage to move. Avoiding investing out of fear is like refusing to use a map because you're scared of getting lost. Knowledge reduces risk. Strategy turns fear into forward motion. Inflation doesn't spare the passive. And every idle dollar without a plan is quietly being eaten alive. The real question isn't, what if I lose money by investing? It's, what happens if I never start? Because in that case, the risk is already winning. 6. Living for appearances. The biggest financial trap of the digital age has one name: appearances. Living to look rich while your bank account quietly screams for help. The problem isn't spending, it's spending to impress. Emotional shopping, designer clothes on credit, luxury cars just to impress strangers on Instagram. As Dave Ramsey puts it, we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. That's not freedom. That's slavery with a filter. This phenomenon has a name: lifestyle inflation. With every raise comes a new standard of living. A new phone. A fancier trip. A flashier car. But no new strategy. According to a Lending Club study, over 60% of Americans earning more than $100,000 per year still live paycheck to paycheck. In other words, it's not about how much you earn. It's about what you do with it. And many are stuck trying to project a life they haven't truly built. The key to breaking this cycle is simple but powerful: delayed gratification. The truly wealthy understand that waiting now is more valuable than looking rich now. They build assets before they show results. They buy freedom, not status. And the question guiding their choices isn't how will I look with this, but does this move me closer to the life I actually want? Because in the end, no one remembers your designer outfit, but your future will feel every wasted dollar. 7. Not having a long-term financial vision. Most people plan their next vacation in more detail than their next 30 years. And that's terrifying. Because a lack of long-term vision doesn't just kill big dreams, it quietly sabotages small decisions every single day. As Napoleon Hill once said, a goal is a dream with a deadline. Without clear goals, you live in survival mode. Work, pay bills, repeat. But you never build. Never design. Never truly thrive. This absence of strategy bleeds into everything, from choosing to spend instead of invest, to picking partners, jobs, and cities that don't align with your goals. Are you building something, or just reacting to life? According to the Schwab Retirement Survey, only 33% of Americans have a detailed financial plan. And most of those rarely review it. The issue isn't intelligence, it's intention. It's not about what you know. It's about how committed you are to what you want. Wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. And if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up anywhere. Having a 10, 20, or 30-year vision changes everything about your day-to-day decisions. You spend smarter, invest more intentionally, avoid shortcuts, and prioritize what truly matters. Because there's no freedom without direction. And there's no wealth without a clear route to build it. Now that you know these 7 financial decisions that seem harmless, but can leave you stuck at 40, there's only one question that really matters. How many of them have you made? And more importantly, how many can you still undo? The truth is harsh but necessary: no one's coming to save your future. Either you take control today, or you'll spend the next 20 years cleaning up avoidable mistakes. The financial system doesn't fail by accident, it was designed this way. To keep you productive, spending, and committed. Everything feels normal. Buying the big house. Working overtime. Ignoring taxes. Avoiding risk. Showing off on social media. But normal is exactly what keeps millions of people financially average. As James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, says, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And your system needs to change. So tell me, which of these decisions are you ready to face head on? Which one will you change today, before it's too late? Type "no more regret" in the comments if this video was your wake-up call. If it made you stop, think, and reconsider your path, it's already done its job. Now it's up to you to do what most people won't. Stop following the crowd, and start building a future worth living for. Your 40-, 50-, 60-year-old self is counting on it.